In the quiet little town of Meadow Creek, nestled between rolling green hills and a gentle, winding river, lived a young woman named Clara. Clara was a creature of habit. Every morning she would wake up at exactly 6:30, the first rays of sun peeking through her window. She would put on her favorite floral apron, brew a pot of strong black coffee, and sit by her kitchen window, watching the town slowly come to life. Her cat, a fluffy ginger ball of fur named Marmalade, would curl up on her lap, purring contentedly. Clara's life was a peaceful, predictable melody, and she liked it that way. One Tuesday morning, however, the melody changed. The sun rose as usual, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. Clara woke up, put on her apron, and went to the kitchen. But as she reached for the coffee beans, she noticed something odd. Sitting on her kitchen counter, right next to the sugar bowl, was a small, ornate wooden box. It wasn't hers. She'd never seen it before. Clara stared at the box, her heart thumping a little faster than usual. It was beautifully carved with intricate patterns of leaves and vines. There was no lock, just a tiny, delicate latch. Where did it come from? Had she left the door unlocked? She was always so careful. Marmalade, usually eager for his morning milk, seemed just as curious. He jumped onto the counter and sniffed the box, his tail twitching. Hesitantly, Clara reached out and unfastened the latch. The lid creaked open, revealing a soft, velvet lining. Nestled inside was a single, old-fashioned brass key and a small, folded piece of parchment tied with a blue ribbon. Her hands trembled slightly as she picked up the note. She untied the ribbon and carefully unfolded the paper. The handwriting was elegant, a beautiful flowing script. It read, "For Clara, the greatest adventures begin with the smallest key. Your journey starts where the river sings its oldest song. P.S. Don't forget to wear comfortable shoes." Clara read the note again, and then a third time. The river sings its oldest song. What did that even mean? And who was this message from? There was no signature, just the mysterious words. She looked at the key. It was heavy and old, unlike any key she owned. Her predictable morning was officially over. A mix of fear and excitement bubbled inside her. For the first time in a long time, she didn't know what the day would hold. For a moment, she considered ignoring it all. She could put the box away, make her coffee, and pretend this strange morning never happened. Life would go back to being safe and predictable. But the curiosity was too strong. The note felt like a personal invitation, a whisper of a promise for something more. She looked out the window at the river sparkling in the morning light. The river's oldest song had to be a clue. She thought about the oldest part of the river, the part that flowed past the ancient oak tree at the edge of town. Locals called it the Whispering Oak. Legend said that if you listen closely, you could hear the whispers of centuries in the rustling of its leaves, in the gurgle of the water at its roots. It was a place of local folklore, a spot children dared each other to visit after dark. Decision made. Clara quickly drank a glass of water, forgetting all about her coffee. She changed out of her pajamas and into a pair of sturdy jeans and, as the note suggested, her most comfortable walking shoes. She placed the key and the note in her pocket, gave Marmalade an extra treat, and whispered, "Wish me luck." With a deep breath, she locked her front door behind her and set off towards the river, her heart a mix of nervousness and thrilling anticipation. The sun was higher in the sky now, and the day felt full of possibility. The walk to the Whispering Oak was familiar, but today it felt different. Every chirping bird and buzzing bee seemed to be part of the mystery. The path followed the riverbank, and the sound of the water was a constant, soothing companion. When she arrived, the ancient oak tree stood magnificent, its huge branches reaching out like wise old arms. The river flowed a little faster here, creating a gentle, musical sound as it swirled around the tree's exposed roots. This had to be the place. Clara looked around, searching for a lock that the key might fit. She checked the trunk of the tree, the rocks along the bank, even a small, abandoned stone bench nearby. Nothing. She felt a pang of disappointment. Had she misunderstood the clue? Was this just some elaborate prank? She sat on the bench, pulling the key from her pocket. The sun glinted off the brass, and she noticed something she hadn't seen before. Etched into the head of the key was a tiny, perfect leaf, identical to the leaves carved on the wooden box. and it was also identical to the leaves of the whispering oak. Her eyes followed the sprawling roots of the tree as they disappeared into the ground. One root, thicker than the others, curved up out of the earth before dipping back down, creating a small arch. Hidden in the shadow of the arch, almost completely covered by moss, was a small round metal plate. It was a keyhole. Her heart leaped. With trembling hands, she knelt down and cleared away the moss. She inserted the key. It was a perfect fit. She turned it, and with a soft click, a section of the ground beneath the root shifted. It wasn't a big movement, just a slight depression, revealing a hidden compartment inside the earth. Inside the compartment was another, larger box, this one made of dark, polished wood. The second box was much simpler than the first. It contained a leather-bound journal, a compass, and a beautiful hand-drawn map. The map was of Meadow Creek, but it was filled with strange symbols and handwritten notes. A large X was marked on a spot deep in the woods on the other side of the river, a place Clara had never explored. She opened the journal. The first page had the same elegant handwriting as the note. It began, "My dearest Clara, if you are reading this, it means you have found the courage to step off your well-trodden path. This journal belonged to your great-grandmother, Elira. She was an adventurer, a map-maker, and a woman who believed that the world was full of magic, waiting to be discovered. I am a friend of hers, and I promised to ensure her legacy found its way to you when the time was right." Clara couldn't believe it. Her great-grandmother? She barely knew anything about her family's history. Her parents had always been quiet about the past. She spent the next hour sitting under the whispering oak, completely absorbed in the journal. It was filled with sketches of plants and animals, poems about the stars, and stories of hidden paths and secret waterfalls all around Meadow Creek. It was a guide to a secret world that existed right under her nose. The final entry was a message directly to her. "Clara, this town is not just a place to live. It's a place to explore. Your predictable life has kept you safe, but true joy is found in the unknown. This map is your inheritance. Your great-grandmother believed that the greatest treasure isn't gold or jewels, but the stories you collect and the wonders you see. Your next adventure awaits. Follow the map. Find her hidden workshop. Your story is just beginning." Tears welled up in Clara's eyes. They were not tears of sadness, but of overwhelming joy and a profound sense of connection to a woman she had never met. The quiet, predictable Clara who had woken up that morning felt like a distant memory. The woman sitting under the oak tree held a map to a new life. She looked at the compass, then at the map. The X seemed to call to her. The fear was gone, replaced by a powerful sense of purpose. She closed the journal, placed it carefully in her bag with the map and compass, and stood up. She looked back at her little town, now bathed in the warm light of late morning. It was still her home, but she saw it now with new eyes, as a place of infinite secrets and adventures. Clara took her first step into the woods, following the path on the map. She didn't know what she would find at her great-grandmother's hidden workshop. She didn't know where this journey would ultimately lead. But for the first time in her life, she felt truly, completely alive. The morning that had started with a mysterious box had changed everything. It wasn't just the start of a new day. It was the start of a new story, her story. And she couldn't wait to see what the next chapter would bring. Thanks for listening to this cozy story. I hope it brought a little bit of adventure to your day. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories. See you next time!